Rhymers. And I think I'm never going to call them rhymers or rhyming poems again. I've now decided I'm going to call it form poetry. It sounds so much more elegant. I think I shall do some poem poetry now. Well, thank you all for liking those, and even if you didn't like them, thanks for pretending you did. That made me very happy today. So, without further ado, we'll bring up, all the way from Calgary, Alberta, she came out here especially today to entertain us, Cassey Welburn. I shall read you a little bit of her bio. She could stand up here while I do that, or she could sit down there. Where did I put her bio? Here it is. Cassey Welburn. Cassey Welburn is a Calgary poet. She's a storyteller and a writer who has traveled, sharing stories and poetry with people of all ages. We can see that because there's young folks there, and there's old folks, and there's medium folks. And she was the Canadian Children's Book Society's Storyteller on Tour for 2013. Her tales are recorded on Tales on the Wind, Call Your Neighbors In, as well as her own Cassiopeia, Tales from the Night Tree. Her poetry and tales have been on CBC Radio and in literary anthologies around Canada. Her book of poetry and story, Changelings, is available here today, and if you miss it today or you didn't bring enough money, you can get it from Frontenac House. It came out and was released in the fall of 2015. Frontenac House is a very, very established poetry press, and I congratulate Cassey on having her book published through them. Please welcome Cassey to the stage.
Thank you very much, Candace. I'm just thrilled that to be offered to come here today and read with everybody. And I understand that Candace James has established an incredible poetry community here in New West, and she's the poet laureate of the city. It sounds like she's done some incredible things here. It's just an honor to be part of today. My book, Changelings, is about all of the changes that happen and turn our life upside down, and how we have stories to explain it all to us. So my poems are kind of like storytelling in themselves. And I want to start off with a salute to the greatest storyteller of all, Scheherazade, who you may recall absolutely had no choice except to tell stories every night for 1,000 nights before she was granted her freedom. And I was thinking about that, how what kind of storyteller would have to tell a story like that today to save their own lives? And I thought of a friend of mine who used to go to the mental hospitals and talk to the people there who were getting out. And she had been through the experience herself. And so she came and she told stories to people to show them that it was all right. There is another life. You can come out and you can establish your life and get on. So really, with the storyteller here in this case, was how to tell a story to get through that long, dark night of the soul that sometimes falls on some of us. It's called The 1,000 Nights and One Night. Night comes down hard here, and a code that can't be cracked. The day room closes with the last staff change. The last caller slams down, the phone still yelling, and lights out is not far away. But tonight, our prodigal sister returns, stills the banter on the ward as we line up for meds. An unlikely Scheherazade, her wispy hair showing bald spots. She wheels out a walker, heaves herself onto the rim, and begins. Her small hands flutter with dysphatic tremor, yet when she speaks in that clear voice, you believe she has come from the heat of a king's bedchamber, maidenhead sacrificed like her sanity, just to be with us. Far from this empire, she says, across the desert whose sands are whiter than petals, there is another with a heart. The palace where the king sits in his camel hair robe is hung with bells. I have heard them ring. Her face lit up a moon. She opens her mouth and coins drop out. The sounds of a bazaar, alive with barter, the smell of wool carpet, a barge on the river that wants to take us inside, a woman hidden under white Muslim veils being rowed across to the Caliph's palace. We no longer sprawl on the floor, grimacing. We talk in voices like honey. Our laughter is the clang of bangles. We have Babylonian eyes. Out in the courtyard, an orderly leans against the glass and drags on a cigarette, his breath the sigh of floating silk. I can see steps up from the green canal, she says. I can feel the slap of my feet on the wet marble. They know me here. Her telltale hands beckon us to follow. Past the king who lies in his bedchamber feigning sleep. Past the executioner, pacing, sword in hand, waiting for the dawn.